Today we are discussing the seventh edition of the Global Technology Summit, which was inaugurated by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shashank. He also pointed out that India is today deeply linked with the rise of Indian technology, and we also see worldwide technology is making an impact on the geopolitics also of the world. Ambassador Shashank, when you see the rise of technology and how technology is slowly gaining a place when it comes to geopolitics, how significant is this Global Technology Summit today?
Well, this has become extremely important ever since the COVID situation arose, and most countries, whether developing or developed, they really had no immediate answer to this crisis. And we found that several countries suffer grievously. Therefore, technology became extremely important in this for the livelihood of the people, and geostrategically also, because one of the first countries to develop the vaccine was China. And now we are finding that China, even after double vaccination of almost 90% or more than 90% of its people, is having very high level of COVID cases. Whereas in India, we also had the 90% of the double vaccination, and the cases are only in the range of 400, 500. So therefore, for the livelihood of the people, for the geostrategic environment, and for the future of the mankind, I think this technology has become very important, particularly on the pharmaceutical side and vaccine side. The other one, of course, is because of the war in Ukraine, and before that in Afghanistan, that we are finding that in Afghanistan, that had become the center for spreading terrorism all over the place. And in Ukraine, it is all the weaponry which is being used, and still there is no answer, no end to the fighting there. And therefore, we find that more and more countries are getting sucked into the problems which are arising due to the Ukraine crisis. So I think this is very, very important. Technology has become an extremely important factor. India being the president or chairman of the G20 now from the 3rd of December will naturally have to take the lead on the economic and technological matters during its presidency.
Ambassador Shashank, we see that this 3-day summit is India's annual flagship event on geotechnology, and it is co-hosted by the Ministry of External Affairs. The theme for this year's summit is Geopolitics of Technology. And we saw the address that the External Affairs Minister made today morning. And he interestingly also stressed the fact that data today is the new oil, and there are strong political connections are inbuilt into technology. So this fact that data is the new oil, and this is something, we've been reading also in the recent past. How much of a depth would you give this fact that as the world evolves and we are becoming much more technologically dependent from our smartphones to the way we travel, how much do you think does India need to take this into consideration as we move forward? That tomorrow what we face is data is the new oil, and how does India prepare for that change which is happening geopolitically?
Well, it does sound very important and interesting that now new challenges are there, and oil in many ways is replaced by data for the safety, security of the world and for geostrategic matters. But the point remains that oil still remains important, even though we say that the carbon emissions have increased and they need to be controlled for environmental protection. So therefore, oil still remains important for countries like India. Coal also remains important. We have to find clean coal technologies. The data means it has a very comprehensive kind of a picture, because you have the artificial intelligence, you have the Internet of Things, and you have the new technologies which are arising all over the place, but there are weaknesses. For example, I remember having gone to the AIIMS, the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, the other day, and I find that for last 5 days, their systems have been hacked and somebody is demanding 200 crore rupees. So therefore, when you have the data as the modern weapon, it acts as both a weapon as well as a tool for empowering people. I mean, if you see that during COVID crisis, India has taken advantage of the data technology, and we had come up with the UPI payment system. We had also developed the COVID vaccine certificates. We have our Aadhaar card verification. So these are all data-related technologies where we have made tremendous progress. But on the other hand, there are weaknesses also, because as we are developing technology, on the other hand, there are these hackers and people many times, they might be sitting in the dark web becomes very important, where a lot of information is available about drug supplies, about weapon supplies, and about hacking various instruments, various platforms.
We also see that India is sometimes also referred to as a latent technological power because of the immense contribution of the diaspora which shapes the global innovation processes, and it is expected that this will increase with time. With these comments, we bring today's discussion to an end, and we hope to continue our coming discussions on this topic and other similar issues. Thank you.
Yeah, I thank you.